the channel is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons. In my head, it has been a long time since the last episode, although I guess just 2 weeks, right? Anyway, it's been a long 2 weeks for me. But I'm Christiana Ellis, and I'm the Dungeon Master. And our players tonight, full house, we have got Starla Hutchton as Carolina Swift.
Hello, friends.
Mark Kilfoyle as Nedry Shiny Rock.
You know, Ivy, it's really nice to be able to just sit and read and nothing happens.
Paul Fisher as Zinhorn Windborn.
Good evening.
John Merlin as Baldu.
I swear that owl was there in the side of the train when I got here.
I can confirm that.
Jenny Meltzer as Zaylene.
Hello.
All right, should we start off with having Baldu and Zinhorn make deception checks? I mean, there's really no reason for you to lie about it. You were.
You didn't do it.
Yeah.
It was there when I got there. The last time that I got there. It may not have been there the first time I.
Well, in any case, in case anyone didn't see last episode or just needs a refresher after 2 weeks, we had the Pocket Protectors on a train ride to Pashan, the capital city of the Tashmian Empire. And along the way, while your friend Ivy and Nedry stayed in the regular compartment, several of the rest of you went to explore the train and discovered that an attempted robbery of the train awakened an extremely advanced security contract, which proceeded to tear its way through the train, trying to capture and or kill the robbers themselves. Succeeded, ultimately. One of them definitely dead, the other one thrown off the train. But you all were able to deactivate it, or is that right? Was one of them was unconscious? That's right. One of them was unconscious on the train still, right? So I believe that ultimately he was apprehended. You were able to deactivate the security construct with the help of the woman who was apparently paying premium prices to transport it in its own cargo car. And I think that there was, while all of you waited in your seats, you were able to hear, from the next car over, the loud argument about, you didn't declare how dangerous your cargo was versus you said that this was secure and that I wouldn't have to worry about thefts and so on and so on. But fortunately, it seems that no one is blaming any of you for any of that. And in fact, you are thanked for your assistance in the matter.
And I had the role of my life, the very last role.
It's been a long 2 weeks. I don't remember specifically.
It was a 32. I performed for to smooth things out and make
yes.
the elderly dwarf.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you nearly lost Evan over the side of the train twice. Poor guy. But that's what happens when, you set a very basic athletics check to jump from one car to the next, and he gets a natural 1 on it twice.
It wasn't his time though, so
No,
we
it's
got
true.
saved.
Nope.
He was rescued on both occasions, so thankfully you still have Evan Cresseldown as a member of your party. But the train does slow down a little bit due to the risk of further damage from the fact that several of the cars now have big holes torn in them. There's been discussion with all of the passengers that if they think that they're entitled to some sort of a refund or whatever, that they need to take that up, not with the people on the train right now, but with the transportation office once they arrive in Pashan. And So everything more or less calms down, and the rest of the ride to Pashan is uneventful. But then you arrive once again at the central train hub, the Lightning Rail station in the center of Pashan, where you have most of you have been once before, under different circumstances.
And do they like when we get off the train? Are they like calling for security?
No. I think besides all of that was
reaching into the station with a rattle and a clank and
yeah. Now
And a bunch of holes.
it's true that this is your first time back since more or less. Well, no, I guess that's not true because you had returned to the city after being captured by the taken prisoner by the Empire's forces under the command of Nelson Devereaux. But now that you have more or less signed up to work in parallel with them, it seems as though there's no current warrants out for your arrest or anything. All of that seems to be under control. It is up to you whether or not you want to check in with them while you're in the city. But of course, Ivy has just recently been here to give a report of your latest exploits already. So there's not any, you've not been called in necessarily, but also recall that she came back from that meeting with a slightly mysterious response about this amulet you're looking for. Namely that the amulet in question cannot be located, but they're working on an alternative. And Ivy herself felt like, on the one hand, asked and answered. Doesn't seem like they're going to be willing to give any more information than that. But something about that felt a little off to her. So, up to you all. But in the meantime, you know that you are going to have clearance to use Pashan's teleportation circle to teleport to Emirate Arboris at your convenience. But in the meantime, you're in a big city with many resources available and tourist sites and such. So, pocket protectors, what would you like to do?
Was Ivy there when we were talking to Talitha and I think it was our first visit with her, and she did a bit of a shapeshifter thing on this side.
Yeah.
Was she there?
I believe she was. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe she accompanied you on both occasions that you spoke with Talitha.
Yeah. I was just trying to remember what she may or may not know.
Ivy does know that you can change your shape.
I don't think she's ever said anything. It's never been discussed.
Well, I if I recall, I may be misremembering and just thinking in my head what she would say, but I feel like it was briefly touched on only in the sense that she acknowledged that, she knows and she knows or that that she knows. But that since you haven't wanted to talk about it, she wasn't going to press.
Okay. It's just been a minute. I needed to refresh my memory.
Sure. That's my recollection anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Sounds right.
So, pocket protectors. What would you like to do?
I would like to go shopping at Sticky Zickies.
All right. So, Sticky Zickies is Sticky Zickies Adventuring Emporium is, of course, in the Skyport Tower. So you can, it's not too far from the train station. So you all make your way across town. Do you walk or do you hire like a construct carriage or anything like that?
They probably have a bus, right?
Well,
like a trolley kind of thing.
Sure.
A horse-drawn trolley.
I
And
think
it
no,
runs
we've
along
established.
magical
Transit.
rails.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
and well, and we've established too that like basic constructs that do like simple things are, we haven't necessarily featured a lot of them, but that is something that exists in the world, and is not all that strange a sight necessarily. But they're usually kind of still big and clunky and not precision tools. Although the one that was on the train was pretty slick.
There are probably, magical point-to-point conveyances. We can summon a Woober. Maybe. Maybe not.
I don't know. They're difficult to get when you like you can't just.
Well, this
schedule
time
them.
of day, it's arcane surge pricing.
Mhm.
In any case, though, you make your way over to the Skyport Tower. It's not far, and as you for those, it's been a while since you were in town. So the Skyport Tower, let me paint the visual picture for everyone, is an enormous structure that is at its core a giant hollow circular tower with a spiral staircase going up and up and up and up. But along that spiral staircase are storefronts, almost like a shopping mall, that go all and loop all the way around each circle. But then, almost like leaves off the stem of a plant, there are various platforms at different tiers that have cargo holding capacities and ports for skyships to dock at. And you had once considered Tier 3 to be your place, as that's where Sunia sat before she was able to fly again. But Sticky Zicky's is inside this tower structure, and you make your way there. And once again, as you enter Sticky Zicky's Adventuring Emporium, the image that people in our world should call to mind is, of course, fantasy REI, or just an enormous sporting goods store. You see aisles and aisles of various types of armor, many of them on mannequins, which are in daring poses or fighting illusory monsters. There are, racks and drawers and shelves full of spell components and other just miscellaneous adventuring gear. And of course, there are many magical items available for sale, but those are generally, you need to ask at the counter for those, unless they're just common things like coins of delving or other little just miscellaneous baubles. So, do you head straight for the magic counter, or what all are you picking up?
I'm grabbing Evan and taking him over to the magic counter.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Baldu will follow.
all right.
I'm gonna go to the regular counter and see if my inventor friend is there and if there are any new fancy experimental items.
Oh, okay. Well, so you see Gleeg is ostensibly Zicky's niece, although she is a bugbear and he is a goblin. So, non-traditional family structure, perhaps. But in any case, she is the one that had previously made the bats for you. And she, in fact, is at the magic item counter. So you would see her there, and I think she waves at you.
I take out my badge and I'm like, Sticky Zicky's is the greatest.
And of course, once you say that, it lights up, and you hear the music playing from it, and you feel it charge with magical energy, because that is, of course, what your bat does. And she's like, "Oh, hey there! I see a happy customer, it looks like."
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and hello. Looking to you, Baldu, is like, welcome to Sticky Zicky's. Are you acquainted with my good friends here?
Yeah, we're starting to get that way. There's been one or two lives saved in each direction. So, I think, yeah, acquainted would be, yeah, that's probably a good way of putting it.
Well, fantastic. So, I know that there's been gossip about your crew that has, frankly, been a lot of contradictions, which is exciting. But I would love to hear any of that you want to tell me. But if you're also just here for buying or selling magic items, I'm here for that too. So how can I help you?
Carolina, come over here and tell her the story of everything.
Well, maybe not everything.
Well, yeah.
What is it that you wanted to know? Maybe
Well-
I can clear some things up.
I mean, there was a while there where people were trying to say that you were wanted for blowing up that building and turning it into mold. But then I guess you helped with that, and then you left in the flying castle that nobody thought could actually fly anymore. And so there's kind of, those are the highlights, I guess.
Well, and those are kind of true, mostly true, I guess. The first thing was a misunderstanding because it wasn't us. And we came back and we helped. And I wonder, do you know how many people they managed to recover, bring back, make better,
was-
heal, whatever state they were in? Do you know
Yes,
how many?
the number of people rescued was the same number that I said the last time on that episode that it happened in.
I hope they're all doing well because that was a very scary situation to be in.
Well, I mean, I haven't heard specifically, although they did certainly say that there's a lot of people rescued, and of course, I mean, there's all the news about that. People thought that that people were gone forever, and then a month later, they're returned.
Yeah,
It's
it was
incredible.
astounding that they managed to survive for that long.
Couldn't save the building though, I guess.
Yeah, no, that was a bit too much for us. It had been essentially like more or less taken over by a mold pocket dimension, and there was a demon lord in there trying to resurrect themselves, and it was really unpleasant. But we got through it.
Wow. I mean, if that's the sort of escapades y'all are getting into, then I think you're in the right place.
Well, we have found some of our purchases from here to be incredibly useful.
Oh yeah, I saw the bat.
Yes, the bat is one of Zaleen's favorite things. She does love to show it off.
Make a deception check because I don't think you have used it since you were last here.
No,
It is
that's
still one of her favorite things, though.
But it is my favorite. That's not a lie.
Fair enough.
And I used it as that bargaining chip with those kobolds.
That's
And
true.
gave it to them because that's
well,
why
but
I had
that
to
was
get
the
another
previous one, right? Because you
Yeah.
came back and you got another one because you gave
Yeah.
that first one away.
Yep.
So it's at
Yeah.
18.
Okay. Yeah. All right. She's like, oh, great.
Have you made anything else?
Well, honestly, the success of the bat was enough that I kind of ended up getting a lot more responsibilities here. Ziki is kind of trusting me a little bit more, and so honestly, although that's great, it's meant I have a little less time for my, like inventing. But I'm much more involved with the buying and selling part now, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. You do make some cool stuff, though.
Sure. Well, like I've got some other ideas, but I feel like none of them are like, a lot of them are just kind of along the same sort of theme, right? It's just the idea of like, promotion built into the whole thing. But I think what ultimately is the awkward piece of that is that these sorts of items are most often used in like faraway places with against monsters and stuff, and there's not really a lot of people to see the advertisement, so to speak.
or they don't make it out alive.
Well, that could be a problem too. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to think that we're selling quality goods, so it wouldn't ever be the the item's fault that someone doesn't
mean-
come back. But
Well, but sometimes the items can be so good that it gives the adventurer a little bit of overconfidence and they might get in over their head.
well, I mean, I guess I hadn't thought of that. That seems like a concern.
Have you ever thought of doing anything that's a little more stealthy but still advertises, like maybe like spews out banners but without the noise? Because we find ourselves in a lot of stealth situations that make it difficult to use this until we're
Well, see, ultimately, I think the problem really just is the penetration, so to speak, of the advertising message, because, and that gets into exactly what you were just saying, is that if the whole idea is an advertisement that nobody sees or hears, so that you're not discovered, then the advertisement has not really served its purpose.
well, maybe you should switch over to party gear and accessories, things like that. Like
That
clothing.
is a good point. I was also telling Zicky that my theory is that it's also not even necessarily about new customers so much as reinforcing the purchasers feeling that they made a good decision in buying it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like if you've made a big expensive purchase, you might be feeling a little bit of buyer's remorse or something just because it was expensive or something like that. And so now when you are kind of using it by reinforcing yourself that it was a good decision, then that helps that feeling, I guess.
Have you
Yeah.
considered perhaps maybe the shop could sponsor some sort of what is the word, like a demonstration of your goods, like sponsor some kind of a
Oh, we're actually
tournament?
offering classes now,
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, basic adventuring classes. I mean, all of you are certainly pretty advanced at this point. I don't know, but if you wanted to drop in on one of our sessions or something like that, I don't know how long you'll be in town, but we're teaching like basic dungeoneering and that sort of thing.
Well, if you ever need someone to speak on some of the dangers of the plane of fire, we could certainly drop in and do some guest lecturing.
That would be great. When are you available?
Well,
When
that
is
depends on how long we're in town.
When is your next class?
Well, I mean, we don't have any today.
Do you have any like over the next couple of days? Like, we're not really planning on being here very long. We're actually heading up to Emerald Arboris. But
Well, look, I mean, here's our schedule, and she pulls out like a flyer, and you see that they've got like three nights a week where there's different classes. There's monster types and their weaknesses, basic dungeoneering, advanced trap mechanics, and sure, yeah.
How to make friends and influence monsters.
Well, no, I was going to say planar geography.
Yeah.
that's
So you can see on Thursdays, we have planar geography, and that's where the experience in the elemental plane of fire would come in handy. I mean, because that's one that not a lot of people go there. That's not one of the. I shouldn't say that it's not nice, but I guess I didn't want to
yeah.
judge. I was just thinking it's certainly not.
Well-
it's more an advanced location for.
I think it would be pleasant for
travelers.
certain types of people, but it requires an extra level of preparation.
I know Zinhorn did some flying around and he got really, really exhausted because it was just so hot.
Oh yeah, really, really hot.
Well, I think that would just be miserable for me personally. I've got all this fur, which is great in the winter, but
Yeah. Do not go there.
so I suppose I certainly appreciate you coming in for some catch up. But are you looking to purchase some items as well?
This young man right here needs a magical weapon.
Oh, okay. Well, what sort of weapons do you favor? And Evan says, "Well, I've got the martial skills, so like I mostly have used he has short sword and hand.
He has a
crossbow,
short
right?
sword, and then right now he has Carolina's
My rapier.
rapier.
Well, so yeah, but I mean, I can use pretty much whatever. So let's see, and then so Gleeg says, well, so of course we've certainly got magical weapons available, especially if you're not necessarily picky about specific type. But as you all know, magical items come in a variety of tiers of power. What sort of power level are you looking for? I think Evan is kind of looking at you guys as like, oh, I mean, I don't have money for
Entry level, slightly above entry level.
Oh, okay, sure. Let me. Oops. Let me do. Let's
You
pull
keep
up.
running into things that can't be hurt.
Sure. Well, especially if you all are planar travelers now, that sort of thing is going to be found a lot more often if you're out adventuring everywhere. So let's see what we've got. Well, let's see. If you're looking for, are you just looking for sort of like basic magic enchantment, to just like extra sharpness or, keen edge, or are you looking for it to do something fancy?
Carolina, what do you think?
Well, I'm not super sure of what Evan is most comfortable with. He seemed to do very well with the rapier.
He really likes to shoot his crossbow too. Like he has a hand crossbow that he really likes using because then he doesn't really have to get up close and personal. I know, like Zinhorn, you've been trying to encourage him to do that, but he doesn't always
I've
like
been
to.
training him so he'll survive. But
Well,
yeah, how about a magic crossbow or some other kind of bow?
Well, we could definitely, certainly magical bows are pretty, like, that's certainly one of the categories that we've got. Sometimes also folks with ordinary mundane bows will find it's a little more cost effective to go with magical ammunition, which of course, once you fire one and you might not be able to recover it, so that can be a lost expense, but then you save those for when you need them and use regular ammunition when you don't, and that can be a little cheaper. But if you're looking for, a magical, let's see, I'm searching lists as well. I think that we can. Let's see. I think that we can find you a magical crossbow. So I think that if we, so everyone be patient with me just for a moment. All right, so we can find you like a nice standard +1 magical crossbow. One of the benefits of this one is it's we can sell it with or without the auto loading feature. The auto loading feature eliminates that restriction that normally once you fire you have to actually carefully reload and it takes a minute, and so you're not able to fire as quickly. We can that does increase the price though rather significantly, as you might imagine. That is going to be Yeah, the standard is going to be 600 gold. But if you're looking to add the auto loading feature onto it, that's going to be 900 gold.
I personally would like him to have the auto loading one. So
All right.
I
So-
saw the boss shake her head yes, so let's go with that.
So one question, and feel free to handle this as you like, but what is your understanding? Like, because you certainly had a line of credit here
Yeah.
previously, but it's all, and also we had discussed that we didn't necessarily need to nickel and dime, like how many days have you been working with Lord Yobert and all of that. So I think we should set and let's do a little collaborative world building here and say, like, what is your line of credit going into this shopping trip? And I'm willing, I'm willing to be like reasonable and open to discussion on this because, of course, Lord Yobert has been able to call ahead, and he does have some deep pockets. But at the same time, buying magical items can get extremely pricey very quickly. And so, do we want to
Right.
set a ceiling on this?
I'm thinking like 2,500, 3,000.
I thought it like when we went in before, he told us that we had a credit limit at that time of like 10,000.
Yeah,
Gold.
and that, well, it's because, and that's for like all 5 of you, right? Like
Yeah.
not each.
Right.
Yeah. So that is I think how about we say 20,000 for the group?
Okay.
But that's going to include too, like if you need to get, diamonds and other spell ingredients and like all of that sort of thing.
Okay.
Okay. So 1+1 crossbow with auto loading. That'll be 900.
Is that's a hand crossbow?
Yes.
Okay. So it's +1. And then I don't know if you can edit that on his sheet like later. You don't. Have
Yes,
to do it right now.
I can do that. I'll do that later.
Okay.
Do you happen to have any crossbows?
As opposed to, so we just
Like,
showed
like
off
a longbow?
you want a heavy crossbow?
What? No, like a longbow that's angry.
Oh,
Crossbow.
well, yeah, I think we probably do. I mean, it depends on what you mean by cross, I suppose.
Right, like he's furious. Like he's
Right.
like ready to kill something.
Well, let's see. Like the first thing that came to mind is not a bow, but we have what's called a berserker axe. But I think if you're all staying in town for a little bit, I don't know. Would you be interested in trying to have the enchantment transferred from that axe to a bow?
As has been mentioned, we're not stopping terribly.
All right.
long.
Well, let's see. We maybe can look into what else we might have available here. I'm actually just like looking through the list and not finding as many bows as I as I would have
There are
expected.
not a lot of like
Alright.
official ranged magic weapons.
Right. So let's see. I think this we do have a dragon wing bow, and it's currently infused with poison damage, and I don't want to presume it doesn't have any sort of emotional character to it, but it is infused with a black dragon's poison breath. Green dragon's poison breath, because of course black dragons spew acid. Everybody knows that. It's infused with the poison, and so it does. It's got its own sort of magical bonus, but it also does a little poison damage with every hit.
I have come across a couple of green dragons in my time, and none of them have been particularly happy people. So that might fit the description, I think.
Sure. Well, the other big benefit of this one is that it makes its own ammunition. You don't need to
Oh, that's
carry around
handy.
arrows for it. It just now you could, if you had an arrow and you wanted to fire it with this bow, you could, but it's capable of generating its own magical bolt.
That is, and we're talking like a drawn bow,
Yeah,
not like a crossbow like we just got.
right. That's going to be a longbow.
Wonderful, and I might I ask what the price tag is on that?
Well, that one is a bit more pricey. It's going to go for 7,000 gold.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay. Like, all right. That is.
So if that I understand that is an expensive one. It's just one of those things where you don't find green dragons willing to enchant your bows everywhere. So we do.
No, quite.
Yeah, I don't even know if we have anything to sell right now either. We haven't really been picking a lot of stuff up.
I mean, you guys tell me. Like you're sometimes complaining about no one has open attunement slots because everyone's full. But
Yeah.
I know you like the things that you've got. So, but let's see. We've got. But yeah, let's see. I think we could also find. Well, if you're looking for something a little more affordable, we certainly have just standard enchanted bows. But you see, we've got. Gosh, would a Hellfire bow do for you? That well, I'm not sure that's really your style. That is kind of something that we tend to see with people who are really going against fiends more specifically. It's kind of a little gruesome. Supposedly, the way that it works is that any humanoid killed by it automatically has its soul funneled into hell. So I don't know if that's like your flavor.
Hold that thought for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
I wish to confer with a colleague of mine. Mr. Nedry, may I have an aside with you, please?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Well, did you hear what you said about that bow? That any human or humanoid is killed with it, their soul instantly gets sent down to hell, like gets banished there.
I mean, it raises certain theological questions, but I suppose it's possible.
Right. So I guess my question is, like, do you reckon? Because you're more about this than I am, but do you reckon, like, if we got that, we could tinker with it and change it so the souls went to a different specified place?
Well, item making is not really my skill. It's more of my brother's, but enchantments can be changed. Sometimes it requires a lot of tinkering, though.
I'm just thinking, like, a bow like that, in service of the Mistress of the Dark, like,
Well,
if it were to send the souls like straight to her.
actually, according to the reading that I've done, I don't have a lot of direct interactions with gods other than sort of the things you've done, but according to the reading I've done, you'd actually be better off asking her if she would bless the weapon with that connection, especially in service of her and with your devotion. She might grant that. It may be more in her doing anyway if it has to do with death, I guess.
Right. So, but theoretically, like, it's possible. I'm not gonna hold you to this. Like, there's not like, but like, I just, like I say, you're more learned in this kind of thing than I. So I just kind of value in your opinion. I guess.
Well, I don't know how it was enchanted, but sure, enchantments can be changed. But as I said, it would be, well, if the weapon is dedicated to a particular hell, then it would be very likely that there's some sort of bargain made with the entity which was used to create the item. So, in effect, it would be trading favors between that entity and your god to make it go to a different place. That might require some other secondary, um, well, fulfillment of the bargain on your part, potentially, depending on how your god believes in these sorts of things. For example, you might still have to dedicate a certain number of souls to the other entity, or perhaps owe it something else, like the retrieval of another item or an item like this, which has been fallen into disuse. There's tales of different things like that, I think. Well, the tale part is probably more Lynn's thing. I'm referring more to journalistic articles.
Right. So it's possible.
Sure,
That's what I.
Baldur.
That's what I heard.
Sure.
All right. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right.
Okay.
So, yeah, this Hellfire bow. Um, what we looking at for this bad boy?
Well, due to its properties that I mentioned not necessarily being something that makes it rocket off the shelves, so to speak, it's a little less pricey than the previous bow. It is still going to be 400 gold.
Oh, yeah. I'll turn and look at the group and like, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so. I think that one for the 400 gold one. I believe it is not. So it would be magical damage, but it's not a +1. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. She shows it to you, and it, despite being a bow, it actually looks like it is made of iron and traced with veins of hellfire, and it glows a little bit.
Delightful. And well, I'll let somebody else have a go. Like, I'm gonna like, and let's start to strum the string like it's some kind of musical instrument.
I think when you do, when you like twang the bowstring, it makes sort of an ominous. Dong.
Right. Like, who wants to start up a band?
Sorry, I'm more of a
I have-
solo act.
I have a flute. Nedry, what do you play?
Um, illusions, maybe? I haven't done a lot with them.
Oh, lights, special effects.
Sounds too, although not really sustained.
Yeah. Also, I think if you don't really have any musical skill, it's probably a rules debate how effectively you can make good sounding music with your illusions.
Well, it'd be sound.
You might be able to
Not really
replicate
music.
something you've heard before, but probably not easily accompany someone else playing an actual instrument.
Oh no, it would sound terrible. Do you keep any? Oh, I hate to ask. I never had this kind of problem when I was in academics. Maybe I really should have. No, I made my decision. I'm sticking with it. Do you have any spell scrolls? I'm looking for one in particular.
Ah,
It was supposed to be something I was learning anyway, and well, I have to, I need an alternative way to find the lessons.
Well, we certainly have a selection of scrolls. You know the one you were looking for, or do you need some help filtering?
No, I have one in particular. It's called Magic Circle.
Okay. So spell scroll. I want to say magic circle is 6th. Is that right?
Third level.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Magic circle, 3rd level. Okay. That. Yeah. Well, we certainly have one of those, and can provide it for 500 gold.
That's all I need, thank you.
All right.
I get 2 500 gold diamonds and give one back to Zaleen that I borrowed.
Don't you want more than 2, like, for yourself though?
I have 3. I still
Okay.
had one.
All right. I'm actually gonna ask to make mine just a 300 gold because I don't want to waste a 500 gold piece diamond doing revivify. If I can just do like get a 300,
Okay.
Yeah. Funny how those spells don't give you change.
right? It's like here's some dust. Oh.
You know what? I like to imagine that the dust is actually left behind, but it's just as the spell goes off, the dust all just goes. And
Everywhere.
so it's like, good luck picking it up. So.
Do you have any like healing potions?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should all get one of those. Like even if you already have one, just so that we have them.
Okay. Well, we certainly have, the basic healing potions that are 50 gold. But we certainly have more powerful ones available. But of course, as they get more powerful, they are much more pricey, of course.
Would you have any? I'm not even sure what to ask for, really. We are planning a trip to the Feywild, so I'm hoping for some kind of it's because they like to make deals, and you never know what you're going to get. Like accepting any gift always comes with strings attached.
Sure.
Sure. I don't really know what I would ask for, but would you have anything that's specifically geared for?
Let me look. There's.
Carolina, if the receiving of gifts is dangerous, what about the giving of gifts? Could we take gifts with us to balance out anything?
That seems logical to me. Although I've never been, so I don't have a lot of experience with it. Only some things that I know from stories. But it's not very much.
Hold on. I think I'm trying to remember if I specifically had. I thought that I had a thing that was actually good for this, and now I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Okay. Well, I think if are you just you're looking for something that is going to just help you be a little bit more savvy?
Yeah.
When
Just to because I don't really know what to expect. That anything in the way of like some kind of protection from stuff or a means to like see true intentions or something like that. Like I said, I don't really know what I'm asking for, what I'm looking for. I didn't know if you might have something that occurred to you that might be helpful.
Let's see. Nothing comes immediately to mind, although we certainly have a selection of Ioun stones that can do a variety of different things. And I believe that there's one that can give you a little bit more, like a little boost to your insight.
That might be helpful.
Excuse me.
Or I'm trying to remember that there seems to be a lot of entities within the Feywild that could potentially like read your thoughts.
Oh, so something like a mind shielding. So it looks like
I think so.
The insight Ioun stone is actually pretty powerful. So that might be, depending on what sort of a range you're looking for. That is going to be, let's see. Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like we have that one set aside for 50,000 gold. So
Ooh, yeah,
that
that's a
might
bit
be,
much.
yeah. What that actually does, though, is it actually not merely improves your insight, but actually improves your wisdom generally. But for something that's a little bit more mind shieldy, let's see, I think we do have what's known as a ring of mind shielding. And what that specifically does is make you immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts.
That I think I would really like.
Okay. Well, so we do have a few of those, and they're not too pricey. They're actually only 100 gold each right now. However, it should be noted that there is a slightly unusual property of these rings where if you were to die while wearing the ring, your soul goes into the ring. Now, that does not prevent you from, like, your soul is not trapped there exactly. Like, if your soul was going to go on to the afterlife, like, it can choose to. So it's actually, in some ways, it allows, if your soul is in the ring, you can telepathically communicate to whoever's wearing the ring. And so in a way, like if God forbid one of you were to die on your adventures while you were wearing the ring, then theoretically you could like stick around to help telepathically for a little while. Not the same necessarily. But that's just, it's enough of an unusual property that we usually feel like we have to put that caveat on it for people. And it does require attunement.
Well, I just happen to have a spot available for one.
All right.
Anybody else wants one of those? It sounds like a good idea, but
I don't have a attunement spot. So do we want to just do basic health potions since we have 2 clerics?
yeah.
Like everybody just grab one.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Sounds good.
All right, and so that's 1 ring of mind shielding for 100 gold, and we have a Sticky Zicky's guarantee that it does not already have a soul inside it at the moment. You find
kind of
one just out in the
disappointing.
wild, you never know. Well, I mean,
That would have been interesting.
it would depend a lot on whose soul it was, I think. We generally try to avoid those complications and try to sell only the ones without souls in them. But sometimes if you have a soul that's really intent on sticking around, it complicates the matters. You don't want to like force them to leave necessarily. That feels weird. Anyway, here you go, and you can also make the ring look invisible if you want. So all that does is it makes it look like you're not wearing a ring.
Do you have a like magical rope that is like never ending? We had something like that before, but Sequential has it, and we're not always with him anymore.
Let's see. I don't know that we have anything that's just like infinite. We certainly have, as a pretty standard item, we have rope of mending that, you can cut it into pieces, but then make it go back together again like it was never cut.
That's interesting.
There's also some ropes that can sort of automatically give you some help with, climbing, or we have a pretty fancy one that can. What it does is it's actually less useful as normal rope, but what you can do is give it a command word and it'll try to tie someone up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna grab another like regular rope and have it.
Okay.
I have a hempen rope in there, so I'll just grab another
We
one
do
of
have the
those.
rope of climbing too. That's it's a little bit lighter. It's a 60-foot length. It can hold more than regular rope, and you can also have it give you a command word to where the other end will move to a destination you choose, and so you can tell it to tie itself to something, for example.
Ooh, okay. How much is that?
That is 500 gold.
I think that would come in handy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that then.
All right, rope of climbing is what that one is.
Okay,
And how many potions did you want?
5.
Okay. All right.
Now I'm wondering what you might have in the way of light armor.
Okay. We have certainly a selection of that. One moment here.
They make armor out of light? I thought
I
your
know,
whole thing
I
was
surprised
darkness.
as well. Well, I mean, like, light in the right manner can be very intimidating. And as I say that, I'll flutter my glamour weave and have it look as if there's fire within my weave.
Well, certainly. You're looking for light armor? Let's see. Are you looking for any sort of particular style?
Well, like right now, I've just got this rather basic leather armor, and it's done me well. But what with coming up with unkillable undead bone dragons and robot attack thingies, and going into Feywild, I think I want a bit more protection if possible.
Let's see. We have some elven chain, but that's not light armor. So how about? So let's see. We've got some. No, is that glamour weave you got on there? Well, we've actually got, if you're looking for something along those lines, we actually have some glamored studded leather armor that gives you some extra protection compared to normal studded leather, but you can also give a command word and cause the armor to look just like normal clothes or some other kind of armor. You can basically make it look like whatever you want it to look like.
Well, now that's interesting, isn't it? Now, hold on. Let me have a rattle around in my brain here a second, and see what I can see.
That one is actually in pretty high demand. It is also another one of our more pricey items. It looks like it wouldn't put you over your current credit limit, but it would be 15,000 gold for that one.
That's a lot of gold. 15. And then 3 zeros after that.
Yeah.
That seems like. Hey, Zaylene, can I have a word? Right quick.
Sure.
Like, this is the first time I've been in this place. Like, and what's the rule on like sneaking back later in and stealing things? Like, is that frowned
Yeah,
upon?
we don't do that
All right.
because
I
yeah,
just needed to check. All
yeah.
right. Okay. All right. Yeah. No. I might. As fancy as that sounds, I do have this glamour weave itself, so I don't really know that
Mm-hmm.
I need the glamored aspect of what you're showing
Sure,
me.
sure. Well, let's see. We have also, there was another, I saw it just a second ago. Yeah, so we have some leather armor
Hmm.
that does a couple of interesting things. One is that so it's got it's been attuned with some properties of golems. One of those makes you immune to any spell or effect that would alter your form, like no one's polymorphing you in this armor. Now that can be a benefit, of course, if something's trying to change you into something else, but of course it could also be complicated if your party was trying to do that on purpose for some reason. But it also gives you resistance to lightning damage.
Hmm.
Now I will warn you because Sticky Zickies has a guarantee here. We don't want unsatisfied customers. This armor does technically have a curse.
All right. What kind of curse?
The curse makes it so that if you are to take fire damage, it can be sort of extra distracting for you. The armor doesn't like it. And then, of course, if you were to take a critical hit, it's possible that your armor would go berserk.
Right now, see, I don't think I want that.
Well, no, I mean, understandably, this is why we let people know, and the price is reduced accordingly.
Like, is it for four copper pieces? Because like,
Well,
I might give that to somebody I might not like, and see what fun
Well,
could
see,
be
it
at. To
all
be
depends
honest.
on what you're going up against. Because, for example, obviously, if you're going up against a red dragon, you don't want to be impacted by fire and that sort of thing. But if you're going up against a blue dragon, something that's going to be doing lightning damage, then the resistance to lightning damage and you gain temporary hit points when you take it, that could become very handy despite the other factors.
I see where you're getting at, but
Mm-hmm. So
still.
this is like I said, we don't want any dissatisfied customers here. So we're very upfront about these things, but it is certainly something that is up to you.
All right, like, all right. What if, like, maybe just something simple like leather +1 leather armor?
Huh? Well, we have that.
Like, I don't need anything fancy. Like, I just need, like I say, I just want to be a little bit more, you know, bit more better protected,
Mm-hmm.
as it were.
Sure, sure. Well, +1 leather armor. You know what? We looks like we're relatively short supply of that at the moment. We have some, but it is marked up a little bit until we get more in stock. So we do have some +1 leather armor, but that is 8,000 gold right now.
I'll turn to the group and say, I feel like we were better off with the glamour studded stuff. All right, like, all right. Well, I'll just have one of them mind protection rings because
All right.
yeah, my mind's a special place, and it's more for
Okay.
protection for all of them. I don't think nobody should be
Bear in
wandering
mind
around in my mind.
all the things that you've gotten so far, including that ring that you just added, is only 3750 right now, and you have 20,000.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
It just
So
seems
I'm just like up to you. I'm just trying to make sure you guys are not like making decisions based on thinking that you've already overspent or something.
Well, I mean, honestly, we've already all come in here except for Baldu and spent like a big fat chunk of change. So, I mean, I don't really need anything other than the stuff that we've already gotten.
all right. What about like you said that leather armor was short supply, so your lack of supply is pushing up the cost, right? And I get
At
that
the moment, yeah.
at the moment, right? But the moment is the moment that we're in, so that's what it is.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
these things are not, commonplace items, so there's a bit of a commodity value, factor to it.
no, I get that. What about +1 studded leather armor? Like, like maybe you got a bit more of them. Maybe
Well,
the price isn't quite so ridiculous, comparatively speaking.
behind the screen, I'm rolling dice for these prices, so. Well, I suppose so I think that it's the same because um, she says, well, it's same price for the regular or the studded.
All right, so what I'm hearing is get the studded because.
Well, I mean, between the two, but some people don't like the studded look.
All right, but have you seen me?
Sure, I'm just saying. You said leather armor. You didn't ask me studded leather armor, so I quoted you leather armor. Here we go.
That's a very fine point,
Yeah.
and I shall not hold it against you. Yeah,
All right.
let's take a +1 studded leather armor then.
All right. +1 studded leather. Okay, and then what we said? We said 8,000. Was that what I said?
Thought
Yeah.
it was
Or is it?
seven.
It was 7. Yeah. All right. Okay. So
What
you're
do you
now
think about
at 10,750.
what do you think about getting Evan better armor or maybe magical armor?
Doesn't he have your old armor after you got your bronze bodysuit or whatever? Like you gave him your old armor.
Yeah, but
That was
I
like
think
plus
that would
one armor or something.
no, I think that was non-magical.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's up to you guys. I don't care. He does.
Nedry's been reading over the scroll and frowns and goes over to the spell component section.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have do they have silver and iron dust?
Sure.
Okay, I would imagine they're kind of like in pouches or whatever. And
Yeah,
he'll
yeah.
take,
Well, no, it's like
500
in barrels and you with the scoops. You,
Okay,
you
well.
fill your own bag.
So Nedry will carefully scoop out 5 bags worth for
Okay.
500 gold.
All right. Spell components. Okay. Also with Magic Circle, just because I know this about it, that spell is more complicated to use than I think a lot of people expect, but it seems like you're aware. So okay, so let's see, that's going to be 11,250. So you wanted to look at better armor for Evan?
Yeah, but his character sheet still has him with leather armor.
Okay. So, I mean,
But I gave him like
Well,
oh.
we can't update the sheet like
Oh,
Christiana.
okay. Well, so I
fine.
guess I need to do that then. So,
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
yeah.
So what is he supposed to have now?
What my old armor
Didn't
was.
you give him your shield too, or something?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, I don't remember off the
Well,
top
he
of my.
can't. Like, he doesn't really
Yeah.
use a shield, so I mean,
Oh.
he mostly just does.
So he should have like chainmail.
Okay. So chainmail is going to be 14 plus dex. I can update him. Okay, and so for him, 14 plus dex. Where is his stats? There we go.
He has +3, so it would be 17.
Yeah, there you go. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Chain.
Most of the time that he's taken damage hasn't been in combat. It's been like
Mhm.
stupid rolls, falling off the train,
Yeah.
falling in the acid water.
Hmm.
But you never know.
Okay. That should be updated, but it might take a while to propagate through if you don't see it right away. But in any case, so what else can I do for you? If also, we do buy if you have anything that you're finding that you don't use.
Do you? Hmm. I've heard of a wand.
We do have wands.
This one is relatively simple, but could be very useful. It's a wand of. Oh, what's the word? Explosives, but not explosives. Light and sound, but not really. Pain. Pyrotechnics.
Hmm.
You seem like a place that might sell party supplies too.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, I think we have one of those, or a few even. In fact, that one. You know what? We don't even have those behind the counter here. Those are a common item. Those. Let's see. Yeah, you can have one of those for 50 gold.
I'll take 3.
All right then.
Are they single use?
No.
Okay. I just wondered if, like, are they like glow sticks? After they're done, you just throw away.
No, but they should serve for very good signals.
And you'll hand one to Zaleen and hand one to Lynn.
It's another way to keep in touch.
Okay.
So it does not require attunement. You just
Does not.
point it up and
Mm-hmm.
like she just kind of shakes it a little bit. Just
Yeah. Yeah. What
How does it
the
work?
she
Smacking her in her hand.
demonstrates because she pulls one and she just goes pew, and you see it shoots a little spark of light up towards the high ceiling, and then it bursts like a little flare, and you hear sort of a crackling noise.
Do we want to get a couple more of those coins that we had?
The
Coin
point
ones
of
that-
delving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Certainly have lots of those.
yeah, because I know we tossed ours into something and then we weren't able to get it back.
Well, that
Yeah.
is a risk of one of those.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it worked.
it did.
Yep.
We just couldn't retrieve it.
Mm-hmm. We can currently let those go for 30 gold each.
Yeah, I still have one, but I'm gonna
I'll
get
take
another
one.
one.
What was that wand called again?
Wand of
Wand of
pyrotechnics.
pyrotechnics.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
Do you have anything in the way of spellbook protection? Or a
s-
spellbook that might be more
Oh.
protectable?
Well, let's see. I think we certainly sell a variety of cases for spell books that are not necessarily inherently magical, but just designed to be like waterproof or fireproof and that sort of thing. Are you looking for something a bit more powerful than that?
Well, if powerful doesn't cost too much.
I mean, certainly we sell in our spellbook section. You can just see those over on the shelf over there. We sell. We've got the enduring spellbook variety that is, even without a case, it's inherently fireproof, cannot be damaged by immersion in water, and it doesn't deteriorate with age. But it does not protect it from, other things. But just
It'll
those
be a
are
start.
the most common threats to the average spellbook.
True, and it's been risky. Well, how much for one of those?
Those are not too pricey either, but of course, you know as well as anybody, I'm sure, that you do not automatically get all of your spells transcribed for you. We have, a service that can assist with the time spent there, but it is not free. Those are just 20 gold for one of those, but it does come blank.
I'll take 3.
All right. Enduring Spellbook. Okay, and that's... All right. So, if you'll all, I need to check on something just a moment back behind the counter, but you all think a little bit on this, and in the meta, I'm going to step away from camera just for a moment, but all of you feel free to think more about whatever else that you might be interested in, and I'll be right back.
I was about to have a conversation with Nedry and Ivy, but Ivy has stepped away. she got lost in the store. I gotta go find her.
Ivy, stay put. You'd think you'd be able to see her. She's so bright and colorful.
It's got a funny illusion over her head. It says AFK.
I could entertain you all with a song. No, I can't. I'm not singing. Sorry.
No.
I'm still recovering.
Do we need
It's like, I
anything
will sing
else?
you a song. Yeah. I mean, I didn't really need anything to begin.
I would like to get Evan some better armor, but
Well, I mean, she did just improve his armor class like a big
yeah,
deal. I don't think
I have
that...
a feeling it wasn't improved before, even though I gave it to him because the paper didn't get updated.
Okay,
So-
but she
Yeah, but she
did
just
just
did that.
do it. That's what I mean. Like, she did just do it. It's in my inventory now. How like Buster is in yours?
Mm-hmm.
It's in my extras, so it should be updating.
Okay.
Do you need to get anything for Buster?
Did they make armor
I
for a gray
I don't
render?
think they.
I don't think he needs an
I
armor.
don't think they make leashes for creatures that
Saddle?
large.
A saddle,
Collar?
yeah. A collar, yeah. A studded rhinestone collar. It says that has like a little bone hanging from it. This is Buster.
Oh,
Wait,
that
is-
would be cool.
Is a studded collar kind of the bikini armor for dogs?
Yeah.
It just works all over it, even though it's just on the neck.
hmm If we ever fight any dragons, we can use the dragon leather to make Buster a big armor. His own dragon scale armor.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to go fight a dragon.
I don't. I'm not ready. I'm too small. Did you guys all add a potion to your sheet?
No.
Yes.
It was just a basic.
Yeah, just the basic.
Yeah.
That's in case like Zinhorn or I get knocked unconscious and
I can still do
and
healing
Lynn.
too.
I was gonna say, and Lynn is like trapped in a bubble or something. He can't reach you. Drink your potion.
Wow, I still listed in my inventory a bag of multiple shards of evidence. If anybody remembers that one.
Just re-aim my camera here. All right. So, am I missing anything exciting?
Well,
They're trying-
yeah, you stepped away, but I wanted to talk to Ivy and Nedry about something real fast.
Okay.
Maybe while other people are negotiating prices or something.
Mhm.
Just like, come here a second. So I was wondering if maybe I don't know if you have any contacts that might be better sources or more trusted, Ivy. But I was thinking we might want to consult someone on this whole, thing that we're attempting to do with the bubble? Maybe like I don't know, our professor of probabilistic incantations, maybe, or if there was somebody alternatively that might be as knowledgeable on the subject and could give us some guidance, or maybe has an idea maybe of what all of these components will do together, how to set them up, like what, anything really.
Well, I mean, I know that you've already got a contact with Professor Tinthis. I can't off the top of my head think of anyone that would be more knowledgeable in
Well,
these
I
subjects.
could reach out to my Tessotam colleagues. They do work in a lot of esoteric fields. Some of them might have heard of some of this kind of magic before. But Professor Tinthis is someone we should check in with anyway. I'm kind
Yeah,
of
I'm
wondering.
mostly concerned that it's someone that we can trust and isn't gonna go like, I don't know, telling people that shouldn't know about it, or
Well, that rather is the trick, isn't it?
mm,
Well, my Tessotam colleagues are unusual, but I trust them.
well, didn't you also
yeah.
like one of those colleagues was, ooh,
Pardon me.
that's a warning bark.
Excuse me.
What one of those colleagues who answered one of your missives tried to
Oh.
ambush you, if you remember correctly.
Yeah.
Well,
and also,
I mean,
like,
The adversary was paying attention.
yeah. But
He's not
your-
exactly involved right now, though. We know he's sort of out of the picture.
Yeah, but your former professor also like kind of got us captured. Like it's
True.
hard. Like trust is a thing that you don't want to give it too easily.
Well, if I may, I don't want to necessarily dismiss your concerns because they certainly may be valid, but I would also point out that the instance of which you speak, getting you captured, so to speak, is what actually brought you into being, legally functional rather than fugitives on the run.
Yeah, that's true, but it was just an underhanded way to do it.
Well,
Like he used trickery, and that's the
fair,
problem.
I suppose, but it was rather a circumstance in which they did not have a lot of options available. You had resisted previous attempts to communicate with you in a straightforward manner.
Mr. Finster's
true.
side, his specialty lies in a different direction. I could make some coded inquiries to some of the other Tessatam members, but it would take quite a while to get responses back. Still, I have been thinking about making a report and seeing if I could employ the Brain Trust to test some of my theories.
Speaking, go ahead.
I was
Go
just going to say, if you were wanting to do a more general, like, sounding out of that sort of thing, that is the sort of thing that would probably take longer than a day or
yeah.
so in town. So,
what was I going to say?
Like Tessotam is an
um,
academic journal. It takes months sometimes to get stuff through. So
There is also I don't know how
I'm sorry.
versed some
Unfortunately, the way I've got the audio set up, it is not easy for me to just mute myself. I could certainly do it on the Zoom call, but Rocket, come on. Rocket, no. Hey.
Should we hire a dog? Like a smaller dog?
Buster is really loud.
It's like Gleek says, sorry, yeah, we got in, we're testing this new batch of, invisible security devices that are set to sound like a dog giving an alarm bark.
Oh, I thought you had like one of those phase dogs from the Feywild or something. Like
Oh,
phase
no,
in
you know what? It's really hard to keep those in stock.
They just phase in and out all the time.
So something else we might want to consider if we know of any experts in trying to remember what the term is, and Nedry, help me out if I'm wrong. Is it Oniromancy is the dream, the people that that know about the dream magic and stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been studying some of it, but I haven't been able to spend a lot of time on it. I have a hard time sleeping at night. There's like a dog barking all the time.
He's still a good boy.
Yep.
He senses a problem in the Feywild.
He's just lonely. Pay attention to me. Mom. Uh-oh. Did he get put in timeout?
No, he got a treat, which is essentially rewarding him for that behavior. So, so in any case, hopefully
There are likely some experts at the university. We could ask around. It wouldn't be bad to make other connections there anyway. What part of oniromancy are you thinking about?
Well, I was just thinking if we wanted to pursue our adversary, that was where we last saw him. So if I don't know, maybe that would be an avenue to think about if we wanted to be extra nice.
Well, we can
Sometimes
go
you need
there.
to be nice even when people don't deserve it. So
I still want to know more about him. But we could go there.
Maybe
The
if we
tablet would allow
rescued-
it.
Maybe if we rescued him, we could put him in your backpack jail.
Ivy
Well-
says, well, I dare say, though, that given that we don't know very much about it, your tablet will be a useful tool, but perhaps we would want to find a bit more out about where we would be going before traveling there.
also, let's not forget he's wearing the curse
Circlet.
thingy on his head.
Or he was.
No,
Yeah,
He might
it's
not be
worse than
anymore.
that.
yeah.
He has several curses,
Mhm.
which may mean that he's actually bound to several of these items.
That sounds dangerous.
We
Uh,
did.
it
I
could be-
did try to remove curse on him too, and he said that there were so many. It was.
So,
That's what he said.
question for everybody. I think I am going to have to call a short session tonight, unfortunately. But if anyone had any more magic items you wanted to do, we can maybe just close out that piece.
I don't think so.
Good.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so the total then that you spent looks like it was 11,490 for all those various items. There's a couple of things that are not natively in D&D Beyond that I'll have to make for you, but I'll certainly get that done. But in the meantime, glad to be back, if only for a slightly shortened session and occasionally interrupted. But we hope to be back next week for more adventure on so many levels.
So many
So
levels.
Any
many
levels.
expenses.